What's up guys, welcome to Tank Control Games. Today I'm going to show you how to create this slow motion effect in Unreal Engine 5. We'll set it up so you can ramp in and out of slow-mo and trigger it from an input or animation notify. I'll be using the same project from my last tutorial to demo this with the finisher animation, but this will work with any project. You can follow along in the default third-person template. I'm using Unreal Engine 5.7.4, so if you're on a different version, just know that things might look a little different for you. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so if I click play in my project and I walk up to our enemy, it's going to play our finisher sequence that I set up in the previous video. I also added some sound effects there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set slow-mo during this finisher and also have it be where we can just click an input and make slow-mo happen whenever we want. So to set this up, we're going to go to our third-person character. So what we're going to do is go to a blank spot of the event graph. We're going to right-click and get our E input key. So just search E key and then scroll down till you see it. And then we're going to get a flip-flop node, which every time we press this key, it's just going to jump between these two paths. So hook up your pressed, and then the first thing that we can do for the path where we want to trigger slow-mo is get a node called set global pitch modulation. If you hover over it, it's going to say it sets a global pitch modulation scalar that applies to all non-UI sounds. And we're just going to use this as an easy way to pitch shift all of the sounds that are in that finisher animation. So you'll see pitch modulation in time seconds. We're just going to set the pitch modulation to 0.125 and the time seconds to 2, and then just hook that up there. And then we also want a custom event for starting slow-mo that we're going to call through an Anim Notify later on. So let's just do add custom event and call start slow-mo and just hook that up there. And then we also want one for stopping slow-mo, so we'll just add that now too. Okay, so now I want to play a sound right at the start of slow-mo. So I'm going to do spawn sound 2D. And then I have this whooshing sound effect that is a paid sound, so you'll have to find a free one online to use, but it just sounds like this. Yeah, pretty basic. It should be pretty easy to find something royalty free to use for that, and then just drag off and let's do promote to variable, and I'm going to call it a_whoosh sound. Okay, so now we're going to play a timeline to ramp in and out of the slow-mo. So what we can do is right click, search timeline, and you'll see the first one is this common add timeline component. That's not what you want. You actually want to scroll all the way down just till you see add timeline, and then just call it slow-mo timeline. And then just hook your whoosh sound effect up to the play. And we want to do play and reverse and not the play from start or reverse from end, because when you press E and you're kind of flipping through these inputs, you want to actually start from wherever that timeline's at and not restart it each time. So then off of your flip-flop node B path, you can just hook that up to the reverse. And then off of your stop slow-mo, that can also just go to reverse. So then what we can do is we can get our whoosh sound, and then let's just actually check is valid, and then off of update, when it is valid, then we want to set the pitch multiplier, and we want to hook that up to is valid. Okay, so now let's click into our timeline, and we're actually going to create a curve. So let's go to track, add float track, and we can just call this slow-mo track. So let's right click, add key to curve, and then set that at time 0 and value 0. So that'll be our first key, and then for our second key, let's do time 1 and value 1. And then if you press F, it'll frame your entire timeline here, and you can just select both keys, right click and do auto, and then select the second key and grab a tangent and just drag it until you get a curve something like this, so you can kind of ease into the slow-mo. And I think that'll do fine for us. So let's go back out, and now we have this slow-mo track curve, slow-mo track value, and we can remap this to be different values depending on how we want to actually use this. So when we're setting the pitch multiplier here, we'll drag off and we'll do map range clamped, so we can kind of convert this to a different range. So the in range is 0 to 1, and then for the out range, let's do 1 to -20, because we kind of want to do a much deeper pitch value so that it actually sounds like it's in slow motion. And we'll hook that up like that. And then now we want the node that's actually going to set the slow-mo. So that's called set global time dilation. And then we can hook that up after set pitch multiplier. And then we can use another map range clamped, and we'll also tweak this a little bit here. So do map range clamped, again, it's going to be 0 to 1, and then the out range, we'll do something like 1 to 0.5. So we'll go like half the speed of the normal game and just hook that up like that. And then off the not valid, we want to just go to set global time dilation just like this. Okay, so now with everything we have, when we click play, we should be able to press E and then kind of jump in and out of slow-mo, and we should hear our like whooshing sound effect get pitch shifted, and then the game slow down. So let's just check that that's working. So click play, press E. Yep, you heard our sound effect, and now they're moving in slow motion, and then press E again. And it won't play the sound effect because we're only doing that off of the start, and then they're just back to normal speed. So that's all working. Okay, then one other thing I want to do for mine, and this is optional, it's kind of a visual thing, but I kind of want to do like a vignette. So everything kind of gets darker around the edges of the screen, and then I want to maybe add some like chromatic aberration similarly, so it just kind of has this, you'll kind of see that in like bullet time, like the screen kind of changes and everything gets a little blurry. So we're going to set up something kind of similar, just a very easy way to do this. So what we can do is use the post-process effect that's already in the default third-person template. In the default level here. So in our third person character, we just need to get a reference to that first. So let's go to begin play, and just a very easy way, we're just going to do get actor of class, and then we're going to find post process volume, just promote this to a variable, and we'll just call it post process volume. And then off of our set global time dilation, let's get our post process volume, then drag off and get settings to give you this struct, and then we can use set members in post-process settings, this one. And then it's not going to expose any of the pins by default, so you have to actually click on this and then find the ones you want. So we want intensity for chromatic aberration. So if we search intensity, yeah, it'll be like this lens chromatic aberration, so you use pin. And then we also want the start offset for that, which kind of let us push that effect towards the edges of the screen. And then just set that value actually to like 0.56. And then we'll drive the intensity using our timeline that we have. So then we also want a vignette intensity. So search vignette, and I think we just need the vignette intensity. So just that one. Let's drag off of our slow-mo track and start with chromatic aberrations. So we're gonna map range clamped 0 to 1. And then for the out range, we'll do 0 to 15. So we'll kind of go beyond the default for chromatic aberration. We'll kind of give it something a little more intense. And then with our start offset at 0.56, that's going to push all of the rest of it kind of to the edges. And I think that'll look nice. So then what we can do is get another map range clamped. And this will also be 0 to 1 for the in range. And then for the out range, because the vignette intensity defaults to 0.4 in our post-process effect, we'll probably start there and then end at 1. And just do that to intensity right there. Okay, so now I think we're ready to test, so let's click play. And if we press E, it'll go into our slow-mo effect. And you can see our chromatic aberration, our vignette, and it just looks closer to something like you would see in a movie, like you get that kind of bullet time effect. You press E again and then it fades away. Okay, so now the last thing we want to do is turn off our global pitch modulation, so like kind of the slow-mo sound effect, when we finish this timeline, but only when we finish it when it's coming from a reverse timeline. So what we can do is go off of finished, get a branch, and then drag off this direction and search for equals and do equal enum, and then this will have forward and backwards. So when it's finished and it's been going backwards, you know, in the reverse of the timeline, we will turn off our global pitch modulation and just set that back to 1, which is the default, and then in time seconds we'll have this go back out like a little faster, so maybe that'll be 1 instead of 2. Okay, so with that set, that's pretty much everything that we need in our slow-mo effect. So now we actually just want to use this in the finisher and at specific times of the finisher and be able to kind of control that. So what we can do is create a Anim Notify State. So right click, search for a blueprint class, Anim Notify State, and just call it ANS underscore slow-mo, and double click it open. So let's go to on notify begin and override that, and on notify end. And then we can just drag off of mesh component and get owner, pass to third person character, and then just do start slow-mo for the begin. Just check return value true, so just like that. And then we can do that on the end as well. Let's just copy our nodes from there. Okay, so we want to remove start slow-mo from the end notify and then just find our stop slow-mo. Yeah, just like that. And then we want to hook this up in our finisher animations, so I'm going to find mine and just going to go to an empty track, add notify state, find ANS slow-mo, and then I'm just going to drag mine out so it starts kind of right at the beginning of the finisher, and then stops kind of at the point where they stomp on their head there. So drag that out like that. And then now if we click play and test it, it starts the slow-mo, and then ramps out at the end. Okay, so that's basically the whole slow-mo system done. One thing I would recommend is probably taking all of this logic and then refactoring it into an actor component so that you can put it on any actor that you want. It just makes this a little more reusable. Alright, so that's pretty much the whole slow motion setup. I also tried this in the first-person arena shooter example and added some sound effects so you can hear them pitch shifted during the slow-mo. And looking at it now, I think it might be cool to do like bullet trails or something like that to really sell this effect for a first-person shooter. So let me know if that's something that sounds interesting to you. But I think that's going to wrap up the video. If you found it useful, consider liking and subscribing, it really helps me out. And if you end up using this method in your own games, share the results in our Discord. I always love seeing what you guys are working on. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.